Are you ready to take your Power BI reports from standard to standout? Don't panic. I know Power BI's huge array of settings that you can tweak can be overwhelming. So in this video, I'll show you 4 easy design techniques that will transform your reports into visually engaging narratives that grab attention and deliver your message clearly. And if you want to try it yourself, you'll find the link to download the file in the video description. Now, the first consideration, aside from what visuals you're going to put in your dashboard, is the color theme. On the View tab, under Themes, you can choose from the built-in themes, or create a custom theme based on your company branding, or maybe create a theme around the data. For example, this dashboard is for a coffee chain, so I could go with shades of brown, but that would be pretty drab. Alternatively, you can choose striking colors to entice people to read your report, or maybe you need to ensure it's accessible. For this dashboard, I've created a colorful custom theme that will go well with a dark background. So let's select it, and just like that, my dashboard is transformed. Now, I still have some color formatting to do for the axis labels, etc., which I'll come to shortly. But first, notice how Power BI's default visuals come with label overload. We've got convoluted titles and axis labels everywhere. So let's get ruthless with them, because most of them state the obvious. I'll select one of the visuals and then Control A to select them all. Holding Control, I'm just going to deselect the title and the card at the top. Now I need to apply some formatting. So for that, I want the Formatting tab. If you don't see it here, go to the View tab and turn it on in the Show Panes group. Here we've got the title. I can toggle it off for all charts in one go. Next, I'm going to Control A again to select all the visuals, and then under Size and Style, I'm going to turn the backgrounds off because I'm going to have a dark background. I want to be able to see it through the visuals. Now, to help with formatting, I'm just going to deselect the visuals, and then we're going to go into the canvas background, and here I'm going to just set a dark grey background. We'll set the transparency to 0. That's just going to help me see what I need to format so that when I bring in my custom background, the visuals are ready to go. We'll start with the line chart. Now, the easiest way to locate the formatting for the different elements in the charts is to double-click on it. This opens the formatting pane. You can see the Y-axis settings are exposed. So here, I'm going to turn off the title. And because I don't have the title anymore and this visual has a secondary axis, I need to help my readers know which line relates to which axis. So I'm going to format the values and color code them in line with the line color. So this axis is for the sum of revenue, which is green. Let's repeat that for the secondary axis. So under here, the color for this will be yellow. And then while we're here, let's format the horizontal axis. I don't need the title, and let's change the color to this pale shade of gray. Okay, next, the legend. So we can't read the text at the moment, it's too dark, so we'll make it a pale shade of gray. Now we can see that the green line is for the sum of revenue. We don't need to say sum of, we just need to say revenue. So to change that, we'll go to the build pane and then double click on the field and delete sum of and press enter. Okay, that's the line chart done. Let's tackle this combo chart next. It has a similar problem. It's got dual axes. Let's get rid of the title. We'll change the values to color code them in line with the columns. And likewise for this one, we want to turn the values on and color them yellow. And then for the horizontal axis, we don't need a title and we'll change the value color to this pale shade of gray. Let's repeat for the legend. We'll change the text to the pale shade of gray. And then in the build pane, we're going to delete sum of from revenue. Okay, that one's done. Let's do this one next. Same problem with the axis, we'll turn the title off. Now this one, I'm not going to have the values on display because I want to add data labels. So down here, data labels on. Let's go in and format the color. Down here under value, we'll change the color to this green color. And let's also give it a background. And we'll make the background this paler green. Now, the line here shows the average order value, as does the yellow line here. So let's make the line colors consistent. Scroll back up to lines, and under color, we want yellow. Okay, let's get rid of the horizontal axis title, and we'll change the values to a pale shade of gray. Okay, next is this bar chart. Let's do the same for the axis. We'll turn the title off, change the values to a pale shade of grey. And this one, I also don't want the horizontal axis. So let's turn that off as with the title. And instead, we're going to add data labels. And let's format them in this pale green color. Okay, last visual is the donut here. Let's go in and under detail labels, values, we'll change the color to this pale shade of gray. And for the multi-row card at the top, let's go in and change the call out value to green. And then the category labels will make it a paler shade of green. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to leave the title as is. We'll tweak that at the very end. Next, I'm going to hide the dark background, and we need to allow some white space between the visuals to ensure they're aligned. This is going to enhance readability and aesthetic appeal and ensure that the elements around the visuals are easy to click. To help with this, I'm going to temporarily turn on borders and Control-A to select all of the visuals, under size and style, and turn the visual border on. So now we can see how badly aligned they are and we can more easily fix them. The other thing that helps with this is on the View tab, we can turn on grid lines. And that just gives us a visual indicator of how things are aligned. We can also turn on snap to grid. I don't want to snap it to the grid, so I'll leave that unchecked. I'm going to start with the visual in the bottom left click and drag just to bring it up off the bottom and off the left hand side. You can see it's also overlapping this visual here. So let's resize these ones. This could be a bit wider. And this one also needs to come up off the bottom and off the right hand side. And we'll resize it to the same height. Now to ensure they're evenly spaced across the bottom, I'm going to hold down Shift and select each one on the Formatting tab, Align, Distribute horizontally. That just makes sure the space between each visual is equal. Okay, let's finish with these ones up here. You can see as you resize them, they snap to align with the visuals around them, which makes it pretty quick and easy to realign them and get the layout perfect. Right, that's better. I'm going to leave the title and the card at the top as is for now. Let's Control-A to select them all again, and we'll turn the visual border off, and I'll also turn the grid lines off. The next part of the design is the background. Now you can faff about with shapes and other objects in Power BI, but it's way quicker in PowerPoint and we have more design options. First, on the View tab of the ribbon under Page View, I'm going to set it to actual size. And if we go to the Formatting pane under Canvas Settings, you can see the size is 16:9. So we need to make sure that in PowerPoint, our page size is also 16:9. So next, I'm going to use Snagit, which is a TechSmith product, to take a screenshot, but you can use any screen clipping tool. So just selecting the section inside the dash border, which is your canvas. There's my screenshot. Let's go back to PowerPoint now, and I'm going to paste it in. Now in PowerPoint, on the Design tab of the ribbon, over under Slide Size, you can see it's also set to 16:9. So I'm confident that anything I design in here is going to fit perfectly behind my dashboard in Power BI. Next, I actually want to hide the screenshot temporarily. So on the picture formatting, I'm going to open the selection pane and click the eye icon just to hide it. And this is going to allow me to go to the Design tab and go in and format my background. And I want a gradient fill here. Now it remembers the last gradient that I created, which saves me a job. To set your own gradient, you can choose from the presets. You can choose different types, directions, angles, and down here we have the colors, which are gradient stops. You can add more clicking on the button here, or take them away. You can select a gradient stop and then click on the color palette to apply the color. Now you notice here my color palette might look a bit different to yours, and that's because I have a custom color palette selected. You can see it's the yellow color palette. You can hover over the different color palettes and you get a preview of the effect it's going to have on your current settings. I'm going to leave it as is, and I'll let you play around with that for homework. Now I'm going to go back to my selection pane and unhide my screenshot, because next I need a background for each visual. Before we put the finishing touches on the background, let's just pause for a moment to talk about an excellent opportunity to skyrocket your skills. I currently have 20% off my comprehensive Power BI course that covers everything you need to become proficient in Power BI. It's structured to get you up to speed quickly with hands-on practice using real-world examples, ensuring that you not only learn the techniques, but you can also apply them confidently. And I personally provide support as you make your way through the lessons and when it comes time to implementing the techniques in your own work. Plus, the 20% discount is available for all our courses, but only until August 15. Whether you're looking to enhance your skills in Excel, data analytics, or other specialized areas, now's the perfect time to invest in your professional growth. You can find the links in the description or pinned comment. Okay, let's finish designing the background. On the Insert tab of the ribbon, under Shapes, I'm going to insert this rectangle with rounded corners. That's just going to give it a nice modern look. You can see the mouse cursor changes to a cross. Simply left click and drag to draw the shape over your visuals. And I'm just going to reduce the radius on the corners. And with the shape selected, up on the Shape Formatting tab, I can change the fill color. So I'm going to go with this dark gray, and I'm going to remove the outline, and I'm going to give it a shadow in the bottom right. Let's make it slightly narrower, and then I'm going to hold down Control and Shift and left click and drag to copy it. Holding Control copies and holding Shift keeps it horizontally aligned as I left click and drag. And let's repeat for the next one. Now, to ensure they're evenly distributed across, hold down Shift to select them all, and then align and distribute horizontally. And that just makes sure the distance between each object is equal. All right, Control Shift, left click and drag to repeat for my donut. Let's resize it. And again, for the line chart, you can see as you draw them in, PowerPoint automatically snaps it to keep it aligned with the other objects that are nearby, which saves you a job. Let's increase the radius on this one. Okay, we might need to move them all down a little bit to give our headline figures, our KPI, at the top a bit more space. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now the next thing I want to do is add some icons as visual indicators for each chart. We'll do that on the Insert tab of the ribbon, Icons. Now icons are available for 365 users, and you can search using a keyword or using the categories here to narrow down the icons that are available. Let's look for coffee related icons, and you can see we've got coffee beans and cups. Let's insert those two. You can see they're objects, and with them I get a new graphics formatting pane where I can size them and change the fill color. Now in the interest of time, I'm going to delete those because I've already inserted them here. So I'm going to left click and drag, Control C to copy, and Control V to paste them in. And I just need to reposition them a little bit in keeping with the backgrounds I've already inserted here. And then I'll roughly move these in. You get the idea, so I won't spend too much time on this. Next, I need to insert my chart titles. Remember, I'm not using the titles that are in Power BI because they're too restrictive. They don't allow me space to add these icons. To do this in PowerPoint, I'm going to insert a text box. Again, just left click and drag to draw it in. This first one is Revenue by Store. I'll select the text and we'll change the color to this bright yellow. And let's just reposition it slightly in line with the icon. Now I'll just pause while I quickly repeat this for the rest of the visuals. Okay, that's all my titles done. Let's hide the image of the dashboard, and now we can see our custom background. All I need to do now is create an image file. So I'll press F12 to save as, and then in the save as type, I want PNG or JPEG. I'll go with PNG. And in here, I'll call this Beans Backgrounds and click Save. And here, I just want this one slide, not all of them in the file. Let's go back to Power BI. And then under Canvas Background, I'm going to browse. There's my Beans background file. Click Open, change the transparency to 0, and there's the background. And now all I need to do is reposition the visuals to fit inside the backgrounds that I've created for them. It takes a few minutes just to resize them inside the space that you've made available. So let me pause while I get on with that. Okay, that looks pretty good. The last thing I want to do is fix my title. Let's change the color of the font in keeping with my theme. So I'll make it this brown color, and we can close our task panes. They're not required anymore. And that's it, job done. Now you can use the shapes available on the Insert tab under the Shapes drop down here in Power BI to create the rectangles for each visual, but they're super fiddly and layering objects in Power BI can become tedious. It's much cleaner to have a single background image, so the only objects in your Power BI file are the visuals themselves. If you found these design tricks helpful and you want to keep leveling up your Power BI skills, don't miss out on this video where we explore the powerful new visual calculations in Power BI that simplify complex data operations without the need for intricate DAX formulas. It's perfect if you're looking to streamline your workflows even further. I'll see you there.